This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
If you're a seeker, don't miss the inspiring book Shamanic Awakening, Between the Dark and the Daylight. This remarkable work chronicles shamanic counselor and indigenously trained dream decoder Sandra Cochran's 35 years of experience with diverse wisdom keepers throughout the Americas. Sandy's initiations across the British Isles, Turkey, Greece, and Egypt, combined with her knowledge of symbology, psychology, and myth, influence her dream blog and workshops. Sandy offers private readings, sacred international journeys, a meditative CD, and her book, Shamanic Awakening, to encourage you as you navigate your earth walk and create a deeper connection to yourself. Find this and more at her website, starwalkervisions.com.
Hello and welcome to Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina. And today's going to be a great show, a very exciting show, because we're actually going to channel a spirit. Justina, what do you think about that? Are you excited about that?
Yeah, we're very excited to show the audience what an actual session looks like. So Tim is actually going to put me into the state, and we're going to channel one of my spirit guides today.
Yeah, and let me just give the audience a little bit of information on that, because you're actually going to hear the whole thing. We were kind of deciding whether to, do that at the commercial break or not, but we decided we'd like you to listen to it. So basically what we're doing here is Justina and I have been working together for a while, and we've got this thing down to a science. We really do. So it only takes, like a minute and a half, maybe tops. What I do is I'll have Justina take a deep breath in and out, and then a second deep breath in and out. And then I will do a count from 10 down to 1. And then I fire in a specialty phrase, which I'm not going to say right now, but you'll hear it. And then what that does for Justina is it shoos away her thinking analytical conscious mind. So it basically puts that part of her mind into the sleep state. And what we've found out is that the thinking conscious mind is actually the wall between the physical world and the spirit world. And once you disintegrate that wall, it's very simple to talk to spirit guides. So then what you'll hear me say after that is I'll repeat that special phrase a couple of times, and then I'll just simply say, may I please speak to Justina's spirit guides? And Justina, who usually shows up when we do that?
So usually my main guide, Comets, shows up when we do this. I do have other spirit guides, but usually he is the one doing the talking. So basically today you will actually hear him talk through me. And just to explain a little bit of what happens on my end, is that the only requirement I have is to be very relaxed. So for the process to work, I have to have my head supported, I have to be comfortable, be in a good room temp, basically just be in a relaxed state so that I can go into channeling the spirit guides.
Yeah, and once what we do with our clients, we conduct most of our sessions via Skype, although we do use the telephone as well. So we do this exact process. So we have our client with us, and then we basically have Justina go down into that special place, and then we pull forward her guide, which Justina said usually is Comets. And then for spirit guides, it's like the easiest thing in the world. They can connect with anyone about, in a millisecond. So what we do is we then say the first and last name of our client, and then we ask to connect to our client's spirit guides. And then we jump into the session. And people come to us for emotional, habitual problems, physical problems, and the guides, and I'll let you talk on this a little bit, Justina, the guides, they know everything about you. And I mean everything, don't they?
Yeah, so as you will hear today, we'll actually be asking the guides a little bit about themselves. And from previous experience that Tim and I have had, the guides do know everything. So people can come in and ask basically any questions they want. And instead of, someone else channeling, the guides are speaking directly through me. So this is different than a lot of processes since the guides are speaking directly to the client, basically.
Right. And today we thought it would be a good idea for our listening audience to hear, get some information directly from Justina's spirit guides. So I've got a whole list of questions we're going to jump into, and you're going to really learn a lot about spirit guides, and we all have at least one. Justina and I have, I think the count was 9 on both of us, wasn't it, Justina?
Yeah, so the amount of spirit guides ranges from person to person, but as Tim stated, we just want the listeners to basically hear exactly how a session is so that the listeners can be more comfortable with exactly what we are doing and hear it firsthand.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so today we're gonna let you enjoy this. You can sit back, relax, and listen. I think you're gonna really be blown away. We're going to jump into a lot of different pieces of information. We're going to talk about Justina's guides. That's where we're going to start. And then we're going to go even deeper. We're going to ask questions about have the guides lived in the physical world before? And, in this world or other worlds. So we'll get a little insight into that. And then basically, if we have enough time, another thing that we figured out how to do is actually we can call for Justina's soul, her spirit, and talk directly with her spirit. Now, I don't know if we're going to have time for that. We'll see where we go with the time here, but hopefully we can get that far because that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so please just sit back and listen to this, and I hope everyone enjoys this.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners are going to want to, connect with us. So again, our website is lightworkers.cc, and we'll basically be back right after this break, and we're going to jump right into it.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
How would you like to be able to read other people's minds? Well, the next best thing is here. When you know how to read a person's name, you know how the person thinks, feels, and behaves. Each letter in our name holds a key to unlock our true essence. Our name contains both our gifts and challenges in this lifetime. Mnemology science discovers personality secrets hidden in the placement of the letters of our names, including the first and last impression people remember about us. Sharon shows us how to interpret the arrangement of letters as outlined in her book, Know the Name, Know the Person. Sharon Lynn Wyeth created mnemology science after 18 years of research and testing her theories, and has supported thousands of people around the world in understanding themselves and others better. You'll enjoy Sharon's unique teachings as she shares her system to learn the gifts behind your given birth name. Even if you don't like your birth name, there are jewels in this book. If you're thinking of changing your name, ready to name your child, or wanting to get along better with others, this is the book for you. If you'd like to improve your relationships and change your life for the better, get the book today, Know the Name, Know the Person, or visit www.knowthename.com. That's www.knowthename.com.
Take a step back in time and discover old Florida cuisine at Marsh Landing Restaurant in Fellsmere, Florida. Enjoy delicacies such as frog legs, gator tail, catfish, and swamp cabbage, or enjoy the more traditional cuisine such as hand-cut Angus steaks, ribs, and seafood. Join us for breakfast with a southern flair featuring sweet potato pancakes, biscuits and gravy, and much more. Planning a party? Marsh Landing's private dining rooms can accommodate groups from 8 to 80 people. While you visit, enjoy the historic pictures, artifacts, and stories that line the walls. Marsh Landing is truly a unique experience. Marsh Landing Restaurant, 44 North Broadway in historic downtown Fellsmere, or visit marshlandingrestaurant.com. Marsh Landing, old Florida cuisine at its best.
Welcome back to Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina. All right. Okay. Are you ready to jump into this? Justina, are you ready to jump into this?
Yes, I'm all ready to go, Tim.
Okay. And we have a little joke. I say to Justina, it's time for a nappy napperson. And that is kind of where she's going. And you're really going to like this. So we're going to do this little mini induction. And then we're going to ask to speak with her guides. So, Justina, are you comfortable? Are you ready to just relax a little bit?
Yep, I'm all ready.
Wonderful. All right. So close your eyes. And what I'd like you to do is take a nice deep breath in. Fill up your lungs really good. And just hold on to that breath for a moment or two. And then go ahead and let that air out. Let that breath out. And just relax. Let go of the surface tension in your body. Good. Good. Very good. And now take another deep breath in. Fill up your lungs really, really good. And hold on to that breath for a moment or two. And as you exhale that breath, relax even more. Just become aware of the weight of your body. And as I count from 10 down to 1, I want you to imagine that you're kind of walking down a staircase of relaxation. Each number sending you just a little deeper than the previous number. So let's go ahead and do that now, starting with number 10, 9, 8, deeper, 7, 6, way down, 5, 4, 3, relax, 2, and 1. Yellow elephant. Yellow elephant. Subconscious mind always listening. Conscious mind sleeping and far away. Yellow elephant. And you are protected by the white light completely surrounding you. Protected and safe. Yellow elephant. And that's good. May I please speak to Justina's spirit guide, please?
Yes.
Thank you. And is this Comets?
Yes.
Hello, Comets. Thank you for coming forward. Earlier today, we did kind of a warm-up on some questions, and we would like to run through those questions again, and I hope that's okay with you. We have a lot of people listening that are very interested in spirit guides. They're very interested in the spirit world. And as you know, human beings a lot of times mostly rely on like religion and faith. But this is a little bit different for them because this is an opportunity where we can actually directly speak with a spirit. So it's very exciting, and I think a lot of people are very interested. So, Comets, are you Justina's main spirit guide?
Yes.
And obviously, I know, the answers to these questions, but for our listeners, the main spirit guide, that means you're going to be with Justina her entire life. Is that correct?
Yes. I've been with her since she was born.
Okay. And how did you come up with this connection with Justina? Was it something that was preordained in the spirit world before she was even born here?
Yes. So before Justina was put into her physical body, there was an agreement made that I would be her guide. So this was all decided in the spirit world beforehand.
Okay. And have you had a connection and worked with Justina in other incarnations or in the spirit world besides this time around?
Yes, I've been her spirit guide in many other lives, including being her main spirit guide.
I see. Now she has other spirit guides, doesn't she?
Yes.
And I think I had asked you this before. I think you had told me that she has like 9 spirit guides. Is that somewhat accurate?
Yes.
And the other spirit guides, not just for Justina, but for human beings, they kind of come and go as we go through life. I know the main guide stays the entire life, but the other guides sometimes will kind of bow out and then other guides come in. Is that correct?
Yes.
And would you mind mentioning the names of a few of her other guides?
Yes. Some of her other guides are Penelope, Atlantis, Ulasa, and Zachariah. Some of the other guides have not came forward with names, but are obviously present as well.
Okay. And from my memory, Zachariah, that's Justina's healing guide. It kind of looks after her physical body. And I believe Atlantis keeps her grounded and is very powerful. And Penelope is more of like a helper friend. Would that be accurate in saying that?
Yes, each spirit guide has their own job to do with regards to Justina. Some of the other guides are responsible for other areas of her life, but again, they only come forward when they are ready.
Okay. So can you tell the people listening why human beings have spirit guides, what the purpose of spirit guides are?
So basically, a spirit guide is to do exactly what they are called. They are to guide the person in their physical form on the earth plane. Spirit guides make sure that the person is going along their path in life and is achieving their goals and life purposes that they set for themselves. They also make sure that they do not pass away before it is their time. So many people have heard of guardian angels making sure that someone is safe. Spirit guides also assist in this process.
So are guardian angels different than a spirit guide?
Yes and no. It depends on the situation, if a spirit guide intervened or if an actual angel intervened in the situation.
I see. I see. Okay. Now, Comets, when you speak to us, as you're doing right now, is your energy actually located within Justina's body or no?
Some of my energy is located in her body, but not all of it. If all my energy was inside of her, it would be too much for her physical body. So only part of my energy goes directly inside of her. But again, I'm using her physical body to communicate. So yes, part of my energy has to be within her.
I see. Okay. Now, is it okay with her her body and with her soul that you're present in this manner?
Yes. So before we did our first session, we made sure to confirm with her soul and her physical body that it is okay for this process to occur.
Okay. Because I would think you would have to all be in agreement with that. When human beings think about spirits, especially spirit guides, I think a lot of people believe that spirit guides have all knowledge, like as in the Earth's past and future. Would that be correct in saying that?
Yes, but we do have rules on what knowledge we can share with the people on the physical earth plane. So, for example, we cannot predict all of the future since this may change the path of the future.
Okay, and I know I've asked you this before, but it just is kind of screaming at me to ask it again. There are psychics that do like yearly predictions, like this year, this is going to happen and this is going to happen. Are these psychics actually getting into the records and are they allowed to actually, tell the human race these predictions? I mean, is that something that's okay to do?
Yes, if the information is given to them in a psychic way, then yes, they are allowed to share this information. However, free will is always involved, so the psychic may not always be correct because the choices made along the path may affect the future.
Okay, and in the spirit world, is that information of like future events kind of leaked to the human population because that knowledge really needs to get out there? Is it kind of like that or not really?
Correct. Some knowledge has to be spread so that humans can realize what type of path could occur because of their actions. For example, if something horrible was going to be happening just because of some actions, the information may be leaked so a more positive outcome may occur.
I see. Now, Comets, do you have this knowledge of other dimensions or reality systems, such as where aliens reside, where they're living?
Yes.
Okay, and I guess that kind of begs the question, are aliens real? Are there other, energy, or I guess not energies, but like physical bodies, people living on other planets like they do here on Earth? Is that happening?
Yes.
I see. Before we incarnate down here into a human body, do we sometimes go into like an alien body and live somewhere else? Is that kind of a choice for us or not really?
Yes and no. Again, the person, or as you call it, the spirit that is in the spirit world would have to decide this themselves. So again, it's all up to them. So some souls decide only to live on Earth in the human body. But again, there's free will, so they may choose to go somewhere else as well.
I see. And I would guess that choosing not to come back to Earth again and again and again, but to go to a different planet, I would guess that soul would want to do that so they could learn kind of a different reality system, like learn different lessons. Would that be kind of correct in saying that?
Yes.
Okay. Now here's a big question, and I know I've asked you this before, but have you directly talked with God or Source?
Yes. So you can imagine it as people imagine heaven. When people pass away, they go to heaven. Spirit guides are just energy, just like when someone passes away. So again, we are closer to Source or God, as most humans call it. So we communicate directly with Source since we are energy and are in a different, let's say, place than humans on the physical planet.
Okay, and for you to communicate with God or Source, is that easy to do for you?
Yes, it is very easy.
Okay, and okay, well that's just amazing. So it's very easy to connect with Source, and communicate. And obviously human beings do that through prayer quite a bit. Well, let's just take a pause, Comets, and then we'll return, and I'll continue asking you some questions.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
While science pursues fact, magic accesses the quantum level, bridging random facts to form truth. As long as science and magic remain separate and polarized, the truth cannot be known. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka. Join me on the Science of Magic radio program, dedicated to unification and evolution of consciousness. During each episode, I'll be speaking with experienced and respected scientists and mystics. From astrologers to astronomers, from medical doctors to shaman, the scientific method to dowsing and intuition, we'll weave together information from seemingly divergent practices to promote unity and enlightenment. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic right here on the Mutual Broadcast Network. For more information, visit www.thescienceofmagic.net.
Gibbs A. Williams, Ph.D., is a practicing psychoanalyst, supervisor, researcher, and author in New York City. Much of his life has been dedicated to understanding nature and the uses of meaningful coincidences or synchronicities. His radical and original non-Jungian, non-mystical, non-magical theory of synchronicities illuminates much of the fog surrounding this challenging and perplexing topic. His ideas and manners are fresh, presented in a style that is both entertaining and highly informative. He is also an expert on crisis intervention, specially focused on violence reduction for the police and citizens, mastering anxiety, frustration, and stress without the use of medication, and effectively preventing and treating heroin addiction. Dr. Williams can be contacted at his email address at gwwilliamsny11@aol.com or visit his website at Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A Soul Balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today, www.soulbalancing.world.
And welcome back to Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina. Justina is now in a different place and we're talking with her spirit guide, Comets. And Comets, I have to ask you one more question about communicating with God. Can you tell us human beings, what it's like in terms that maybe we could understand? I mean, obviously we pray to God and we receive answers in different ways, but can you shed a little bit of light on what it's like for you to communicate with Source?
Yes. So it is hard to explain in human terms how it is to communicate, since obviously humans communicate very differently. But we communicate with Source directly through our energy and feeling. So it is not like humans communicate through language. It is instead through this energy. So, for example, when someone prays, they may feel an overwhelming sense of energy or emotion. It is comparable to that.
I see. And, you know, Comets, you've told me something very, very interesting. You've told me that humans have emotions, but spirits really don't. They have what I think you had termed just energy. Is that correct? And could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So, as a spirit guide, I do not possess human emotions. So, I do not get angry or sad or anything like that. Instead, spirit guides only feel energy. So, we can feel the positive energy, but we cannot feel the emotions that humans possess.
Okay. So let's say a human being dies, their body stops working, and their spirit returns to the spirit world. On the physical plane, obviously their family and friends go into grief, which is a very big feeling. But for the person who crossed over back into the spirit world, when they get there, do they also really not have the emotions? And would it be fair to say that they don't really grieve about themselves dying?
True. So when a spirit passes on, there's nothing except positivity. So the spirit will not feel sad or angry or feel any of the pain that experienced in the physical world. Instead, the spirit will be happy where they are. And this happiness is not the same as human happiness, but again, for the sake of understanding, basically the spirit only feels love, happiness, and positive emotions. But again, it's all through energy, so it is not exactly like humans go through these emotions.
I see. And I know in the spirit world, there's no time. It's kind of like now time. But when a person does pass away, does that happen fairly quickly for them, where they go from emotions to just feeling, bliss and more energy than emotions? Does that process happen kind of quickly?
Yes, for the most part. The only issue is sometimes the person does not realize they are dead, and that is when ghosts are on this planet, since they do not realize they are no longer in their physical body. But for the most part, spirits pass over rather quickly and go join up with family and friends that are ready on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we've helped several spirits cross over working together thus far, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, Comets, have you ever lived a physical life in a human body on Earth?
No.
Any kind of physical body anywhere?
Yes.
Okay. And what about Justina's other guides that we mentioned before? Have any of them lived on Earth before?
Yes, Penelope has lived many physical lives on Earth, but then eventually she became a spirit guide. So she does have experience on Earth in previous lives.
Is she still coming down? Is she still incarnating once in a while, or is she all done with that?
She is done.
Oh, she's done with that. I see. Okay. Now, Comets, can you explain to our listeners the advancement of yourself to us? Like there's spirit guides and there's archangels, and then there's just people that have just passed away. So being a spirit guide, does that mean that you're more of an advanced soul?
Yes. So for spirit guides, there are different levels. So I am pretty advanced and I'm higher on the spectrum than others. Penelope, on the other hand, is closer to the lower spectrum of being a spirit guide. So, just as there's different levels of beings, there are also different levels of spirit guides.
Oh, okay. So, what would Penelope have to do to advance, to get more to where your level is? Are there things in the spirit world that she has to learn or go through?
Yes, and also who she chooses to be a spirit guide for. As we mentioned before, myself, I chose Justina because she does have psychic medium powers. So, because she is a more advanced being already with these gifts, I chose her for a reason so I can also help my own advancement. The same as with Penelope.
I see. And I'd like to tell the listening audience that Justina, in my opinion, is like a world-renowned psychic medium. I mean, it is so simple for her. Like, my sister passed away in 2009, and her name's Sherry, which is one of my guides. And when we do our sessions, more times than not, Justina will say, "Oh, Sherry's right behind you." And she can see them, she can talk to them, and it's simple for her. It's easy. And is it easy for her because she is advanced, Comets, or is it just a gift that was given to her?
It is both. So obviously the gift is given to her for a reason, but she is also more advanced.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, here's a really good question, okay? I've heard this a lot from our clients. How do guides communicate with people in their everyday lives? How do they get their messages through?
So the problem is that guides cannot talk directly to the humans in the physical world. So instead, we have to guide them in different ways. The major way that we step in is through intuition. So we will give messages such as, "Do not get in your car right now, it is not safe." But this is again all through your intuition. We also do sometimes step into major situations. So let's say someone starts driving and they are about to get into a car crash. We will step in if it is not their time to pass over and make sure that they are okay and safe. So we can intervene when necessary and try to guide, but again, we cannot talk directly. So that is why these sessions are helpful, is to get messages to the people on the physical world.
Now, I've got one thing to say to that, because many years ago, I was driving in my car. It was late at night, and I was driving too fast. I was on the interstate. And all of a sudden, it's like somebody yelled in my ear, "Slow down." I mean, it wasn't like, "Oh, I have to think about this for a second." I mean, immediately my foot hit the brake. I slowed way down, and I happened to be right at my exit. And when I made the move to go, on the exit to get off the interstate, all of a sudden my car started like shaking really violently. I got out, and all the lug nuts of my front tire were gone except for one lug nut. And I believe that was my spirit guide. First, was that my spirit guide that yelled, "Slow down" to me?
Yes, Tim, that was your spirit guide.
Was that Roman?
Yes.
Okay. And so sometimes they can be more than just intuition. Then they can really step up and like communicate with you. Is that correct?
Yes, we intervene in emergency situations so that someone is not harmed when it is not time for them.
Okay. All right, that makes sense, because there was no second guessing that one. I mean, it was like, and nobody was in the car, but it was like somebody was in the car that yelled, "Slow down." So, okay. Now, Comets, obviously, and you work with myself and Justina and our clients. Do you believe that this process of calling you forward and then calling forward and connecting the guides of our clients is beneficial to our clients?
Yes, since clients cannot normally directly talk to their guides, and their guides can provide the guidance necessary and answer the questions they have been wondering about.
Yeah, I've noticed it's a pretty big life changer for everybody that comes to us. Now, can you assist humans through this process? in healing our client's physical body? Is that
Yes.
something we can do? Okay. Obviously, I know the answer to that because we've helped a lot of people, but I just want it to come from you. Now, when you do help somebody's physical body, how do you do that? Do you first work on like the energy that you can see and then the physical cells, that kind of thing? Or can you give us a little bit of insight into how you can help people physically?
Yes. So first, it is identifying the physical problem. Either they will say what the problem is, or we will identify that ourselves using their guides. The next step is to basically isolate the issue and make sure the issue is in one spot. The next step is to identify where the issue is coming from. If it is from a past life, it is very easy to separate. If it is an issue in their life path, this is more difficult since they chose this for themselves, and we cannot do a removal of the physical issue if they chose it without their permission. The next step is to give the physical healing through energy. So, as you know, Tim, whoever we are healing actually feels the energy going through their body, and this is completely normal.
Yeah, they do. And I've felt it as well. Now, Comets, as far as the physical healing, as you know, we've connected with and bring forward Edgar Casey. Now, Edgar's still in the spirit world, and I believe you had told me he's not reincarnated again. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. So Edgar Casey now comes in. We do our regular healing with you, Comets, and our clients' guides, but then we bring in Edgar Casey to assist with our clients' physical healing. Do you believe that having Ed come in is beneficial? And can you explain kind of what he does, how he goes into the records?
Yes. So, as most people know, Ed actually went into the records when he was alive in his physical body. Ed is assisting in the process by asking the gatekeepers who guard the records if he is allowed into the records. Once he accesses the records, the person has to ask permission. So the client would give Ed permission to look into the book. You can think of the records as a large library with books for each person. Ed then finds, let's call it a chapter, but the piece of the book where the person is currently at. From this, he can look into different remedies to help the person, such as lifestyle changes, foods they could eat, or different herbs that they could use. So basically, he finds out the information that will heal them the fastest.
Right, and that's what he was doing when he was still in the physical body, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, now, I obviously know the answer, but this question's for our listening audience. Can Justina, with permission, ask the gatekeepers to enter the Akashic records to gain knowledge for the clients that come to us?
Yes, with the client's permission, obviously, since their books are very personal. So the client has to give permission, but with permission, she can.
Yeah, and she had told me that she kind of has an all-access pass. That's what she said. Now, for Earth records, they're all kept here. Are records for other dimensions, like aliens and other dimensions?
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? I'm Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, and on The Secret to Everything, we will merge the practical with open investigation into all realms of the mysterious. We will talk to cutting-edge alternative health practitioners, those who inspire and motivate you in business and life, and of course, we will share stories of the paranormal, conspiracy, and cryptozoology. You will transform because of the frequency I carry, the frequencies my guests carry. Life may never be the same after you listen to this program, for the secret to everything is for you, the listener, for those who desire more in every area of their lives and believe that it can still be found. Listen and discover thesecrettoeverything.com.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
You're listening to the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net.
And welcome back to Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina. Justina is still in the state, and her guide Comets is here. I ran a little bit long in that last segment, so let me restate the question. Comets, we were talking about the Akashic records, and I know that the Earth records are kept here, the past and the future. Are records for other dimensions, other civilizations like aliens also kept here?
Yes, but these records are obviously guarded by the gatekeepers, so not just anyone can access them. And again, the information is always carefully distributed, since future knowledge cannot be known, and knowledge about things that humans aren't aware of can also not be known until the time is right.
Now, I have a question. I understand past and future is stored here, and that's correct, right?
Yes.
However, the future for any individual is going to change dependent upon their decisions. And that's correct, isn't it?
Yes.
So when you store the future records, is it like every decision that they might make is all stored there, or I'm not really understanding how you can store the future records, I guess.
So, just like you said, there are many paths, and every path is listed. So, you can think of it as a road with many branches off of it. Each branch leads to another branch. So, you can think of it as a major tree where there are different branches, and each branch goes somewhere else. So, obviously, the records contain a ton of information, since in the future there are many possibilities. The past is easier since it has already been chosen, so these do not change.
Okay. All right. And in session, when we're working with people's physical problems or emotional problems, I always ask you these questions. I always ask you, is this problem related to karma, which is the person paying something back? Is it connected to a past life? Is it connected because they have a spirit attachment, a spirit actually attached to them? Or does it have something to do with their life chart, as though they had selected it? Now, from what I've seen from the work we've done, Comets, if the problem is connected with a past life, sometimes you can just disconnect it and then, well, you can always just disconnect it, but sometimes the person needs to know what happened. And so the past lives is pretty easy. And then if they have a spiritual attachment, it's pretty easy for you. You know that they have an attachment and you can remove it. So those two parts are kind of easier, aren't they?
Yes, so past lives are very easy. And also, we provide information that is necessary for the person to know. They also are welcome to ask about their past lives. We cannot always provide all the information if it will affect them now, but again, we can provide some information. For example, if the past was very traumatic, we may provide a little bit about that life, but will not go into details since it may affect them now. But again, we usually can provide at least 1 or 2 past lives so that the client can know what happened in their past.
Yeah, and when we've removed the spiritual attachments, there's been a few times, I believe, that you've had to call in reinforcements like the archangels. Is that correct?
Yes, so just as there are different levels, there are also different levels of spiritual attachments. Ghosts are very easy that are haunting a space, since all they need to do is realize they are not in the physical world and go into the light. However, when there is something negative present, it is more difficult. Sometimes the guides can work together to remove this, but again, sometimes we also have to call in backup, including the angels.
Right, yeah. And then the karma, sometimes it hasn't been fully paid off yet, so they're still working on that. Isn't that correct?
Yes, so karma has to be paid basically in full. A person cannot fulfill only part of the karma. It has to be completely fulfilled for the karma to go away.
Yeah, and then when we bump into the life charts, that seems to be kind of a bugaboo because the person actually selected that problem or that challenge, didn't they?
Correct. And sometimes people want to change their minds. But again, this is a process to go through since they are the ones who chose this for themselves. And once they get into the physical world, they decide they no longer want this for themselves, which may influence the lessons they are learning on Earth.
Yeah. And I've had a few sessions where people have actually picked terminal cancer or people have picked horrible parents. No kidding. Because in the spirit world, it's different when we're picking these things. And then when we get down here and we're actually living through it, it's a whole different story. That's for sure. Well, thank you very, very much for this insight, Comets. We certainly do appreciate it very much. And before we conclude our session, are there any other thoughts that you'd like to tell the people listening tonight or not at this time?
All we want to do is thank everyone for listening today and listening to me speak. I greatly appreciate that everyone is listening to this insight and is willing to listen to this show. We enjoy as spirit guides working with Tim and Justina.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Comets. We certainly do appreciate it. So now, I would like to have all the consciousness and personality of Justina to once again return to where it belongs. All the consciousness and personality of Justina is now back where it belongs. And as I count from 1 up to 10, with every single number I say, you'll just wake up. With every number I say, you'll have more and more energy, and you're going to feel better and better. And when I say the number 10, at that moment, your eyes will open up and you'll be wide awake, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and feeling great. So let's go ahead and do that now with number 1, 2, 3, rising up, 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 waking up, 4, and 5, becoming very aware of your physical body, and the sounds are returning. And let's go way up, waking up, feeling great with number 6 and 7, rise and shine, feeling great. And Justina, you're very aware of your physical body. You can take a deep breath in and out. You can stretch, you can move. And now let's go way up, 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 up with number 8, number 9. And on the next count, your eyes will open up, wide awake and feeling just incredibly good. So let's do that last number now with number 10. Eyes open, fully alert, and feeling good. And are you back with us, Justina?
Yep, I'm back.
Wonderful. Now, before I throw in the magical word, what do you remember about that session? Ooh, I just said it, actually, so I think I messed up. What do you remember about? Oh, I said it again, so I guess I can't ask you that. The magical word is remember. And Justina, since she's in a sleep state, before we installed the remember word, she didn't remember much. And that's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, so usually if we don't say the word, all I remember is usually some images. So I'll get some images during the sessions and then maybe a few words here and there. But if we didn't say the key word, we'd be talking to clients and I would have no idea what they were talking about since I didn't remember the actual session.
Yep. So, hey, I really hope everybody enjoyed that. Comets is very accommodating and is a very high-level spirit guide. Very, very high level. And I've talked to other spirit guides, of course. They're not all playing at the same level. They're really not. So it's just a pleasure having Comets come in and give us all this information. And it's great talking to Edgar Casey. In fact, we were channeling him, and he said, "Just call me Ed." I was like, "Oh, okay, okay, Ed." So that's kind of funny. And we really, really do look forward to you guys going to our website, lightworkers.cc, and if you click on the program link at the top, there's all kinds of information, like the things that we can cover, a lot of questions that a lot of people have, because we get that question, well, what kind of questions can I ask? So we've listed out a bunch of questions, and then you can actually place yourself right in our calendar. Boom, and it's easy, it's simple. And I tell you, our clients, they're blown away. I mean, straight up, it's a life changer. Don't you agree, Justina?
Yeah, our clients are nervous to begin with, which everyone is, and then once they get into session, it just comes naturally, and then afterwards, they can't believe the messages their guides have, the answers they get.
Exactly. So we'd like to thank everybody in conclusion of our show tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in. And please come on back. We're here every single week, and we're going to keep channeling more and more and more. And there's a bunch of questions I didn't even get to tonight, so maybe we'll queue that up for next time. So thank you again for tuning in to Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina.